Good morning and welcome. It's a brand new day. It's a Hump of the Week Wednesday, and every day we take a swipe at life, and daily we try to put more than we gave the previous day. That's what today's about.
You definitely have to be tough to definitely get past your current level. And of course, unlike some jobs, we actually wake up extra early to make sure that when you're up, we're here to make sure your morning is bright and perfect.
You don't want to know how early we wake up. For some of us, it's like the day is like halfway gone already, but all just for you. In other words, we have to make sure that our daily 2K is earned. Good morning and welcome to our Wednesday edition here. It's your favorite breakfast show. It's Wake Up Nigeria, yeah!
It does feel good for you to still talk about the Wednesday edition, right? You managed to hijack the Wednesday.
You guys have made me a very big part of it.
And guess what? Today you decided to drag Mike into it.
No, but hey, you know, we'll call it Superman Wednesday. How's that?
Not interested. Not interested.
We have a great show planned for you guys, and as your hosts, we want you guys to be ensured that you enjoy this experience for the next hour and 45 minutes. My name, of course, you know already, is Mazino Appeal.
And my name is Winfrey Agbelishe, and it's our job to serve you the best when it comes to breakfast television. Remember, you can watch the show live on GOTV channel 27 and on UHF band 49 on terrestrial. Follow us also on all social media platforms. We are at TVC Connect.
Yes, indeed. And you can also watch us past episodes. If you go on YouTube, it's all there for free. TVC Entertainment is where to look for. And also send in your comments using the social media hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. We always love to read from you guys.
Now let's check out what we have for today.
So we begin with relationship, and we will be discussing handling generational differences with Nena Ben Ikechukwu, a certified family life practitioner and also integrated life coach with specialization in mental wellness education. And then we get to discuss a relevant topic on nutrition, the gut-brain connection, how nutrition affects your mood and mental health with wellness expert and nutritional experts Ojo Nora.
For a musical performance, of course, from Ermosela Solomon Idemuda, professionally known as Dian. He will be here to perform his new single, The Uber Boy.
Finally, joining us on the show for a chat here on the couch, we have Miss International Nigeria 2022 and 2023. Winfrey's people, we will be getting to know more about this beauty queen when she joins us. Look at that. Beautiful.
I want to brag a little.
Okay, what you want to brag
In
about?
2018, when nobody expected anything much from a lot of people, I trained that girl.
Oh no, did
Yes,
you?
I did.
Did you?
When the Pageant Academy started,
Nice.
2018, our very
You do
first
have an
edition.
academy going
Yes,
now,
I
isn't
do.
it? What's it called?
The Pageant Academy.
The Pageant
Pageant
Academy.
Academy, yes.
What's the thing? What's
How does it work?
So
machine?
basically, we groom aspiring beauty queens, right? So girls that want to go into pageantry. Yeah, some models also come along and all of that. And I think the amazing thing of the journey so far is that even in 2018, when it started, because it started basically because when I was going to pageantry, there were no references. So trying to reach out to people to know about pageantry, people were literally blank, right? And there were no pageant coaches then. But then again, I mean, I started it just to answer questions that a lot of people had and all of that. So we just had a tiny conference of like 10 to 15 girls just gather that first time. And we had a lot of people. So I invited my beauty queen friends. They just came, exchanged ideas and all of that. And that was it, 2019. We had 2 installments. The last one was, we had over 50 girls and all of that. And presently, even the current Ambidjan queen, the one representing us in this
an
world,
alumni.
she literally is, she actually was
nice.
one of ours. So
That's very interesting. Did you started this for free, pro bono? You were
for free. Until
so
today,
what-
I've not even earned a cent from it.
You see, Mike, this is what I appreciate about these kinds of endeavors, because I do voiceovers.
Okay.
And lately there have been a proliferation of people who want to teach you how to be a
Yes,
great voiceover artist.
Exactly.
And take your
And
money.
take your money, yeah. Even the ones that have no idea
Even the
what's
ones that have
happening.
no idea about the business. And I'm like, I've done some of these classes, and guess what?
Right.
I've taken not one single kobo from anybody.
You see, yeah, I remember much earlier on, attending some classes also. I think that then it was Ike Osakudua who was teaching some things, and he had these classes that he was having, and they were free also, you know. And for me, yeah, it's the way to go. It's the way to start at least, even if show people the value that you can offer. And then along the way, as it comes, you can. But you know, this is one good way, because you have a lot of people who, like you said, what have these people done?
Yeah.
And then you see them charging.
Yes.
You know, I've seen, and I've literally seen many people that I know who Okay, you
know
know
what
this.
it is, right?
Just
Yeah.
like people that
You know?
literally write books on how to make money.
Yeah, have you
And
made
then,
the
like,
money?
have you-
I
You
want
know
to
to know
be.
this thing. You know, somebody's talking
I
about
will balance the
business.
skill. However, I will say that if you're worth it, if
Yeah.
you've got the knockers and everything, and you are valid to charge, I will say that sometimes if you get things for free, that's people now generally you don't value it.
Very
Yes,
true.
the
There
Very,
has to
my
be a
very
balance.
first experience with the media
Yes.
was I walked up to this guy who was first off I'm a producer. I'm a sound producer. That's what I tell people is
Yeah.
my number one thing.
Thing.
And I said, hey, I want to make these radio imaging material, and I was very young. I was what 18 or 19, and he said, oh no problem, 2,500 naira. I'm like, no, bros, now you're my mentor. And I'm like, no. He said to me, if I do it for you
Yes,
for free,
you will
you'll
never
value it.
value it. It's very true. Very true.
Nice.
There's that as well.
And you're welcome for a Wednesday here. Let's do the news. My name is Mazino Peel. How did I get that wrong? Now we begin from Kaduna State, where about 10 students have been reportedly kidnapped by yet to be identified persons in Kachia local government area of the state. The victims are said to be students of the government day secondary school. The Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arua, said the incident happened on Monday. He said the exact location of the incident is yet to be ascertained, as detailed reports are still being awaited from security agencies. We show you a timeline on the series of schools attacked by bandits. On March 12, 2021, gunmen invaded the Federal College of Forestry overnight, kidnapping about 30 students. April 21, 2021, gunmen attacked Greenfield University. 5 students were killed, 22 others abducted. Another attack happened July 5, 2021, at Bethel Baptist School. 20 students were abducted. August 3, 2022, Federal School of Statistics, Machak Kora, local government, was attacked by gunmen. Now, 1 killed, another abducted. TVC News spoke with the Kaduna State Chairman of Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Joseph Hayab.
Simple truth is that the bandit knows that our government can back, but they cannot bite. The bandit knows that our government will only play to the gallery, but they will not go after them. The bandit knows that, look, after all the noise, everybody will just focus on what he wants to do. Security is not an exclusive business of those in uniform or those who are in the security forces. Security is about everybody. Security is when everybody is involved. These criminals live among people. These criminals walk among people. But you see, what is the kind of relationship between the people and government, between the people and security agencies, that the people can openly and confidently explain to them what they know? Sometimes when people are not so sure of their safety, not so sure of the approach of government, they would even want to say anything. There's this common slogan in New York that when you see something, say something. You can't ask people in Kaduna to see something and say something, because if you say something, you will not sleep that night.
The federal government has cautioned the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, against inciting people to violence over the outcome of the presidential election. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed gave the admonition in Washington, D.C. during his official engagement with some international media organizations on the just concluded 2023 polls. The minister has so far engaged the Washington Post, Voice of America, Associated Press, and Foreign Policy magazine. During interactions with the media organizations, Mr. Mohammed said it was wrong for Peter Obi on one breath to seek redress in court over the outcome of the polls, and on another breath incite people to violence. Now, Donald Trump pleads not guilty to 34 felony criminal charges during a court hearing in New York. The former U.S. president was accused of falsifying records to conceal crimes in the almost hour-long hearing. Judge Juan Machan does not issue a gag order, but asks both sides to be mindful of their language and rhetoric. Trump, running for the presidency in 2024, is released and is set to travel to Florida. Speaking to reporters outside the court, attorney Todd Belange said the judge requested everyone involved in the case to not use language that would incite violence. Not just Trump, Joe Tacopina, another one of Trump's lawyers, said the unsealing of indictment showed that the rule of law died in the country. Do stay tuned. This is Wake Up Nigeria.
All right, let's take a look at the headlines of the dailies this morning. We'll kick off from The Guardian, and the headline there that we can see is FG and OB trade accusations on treason charge. The writers underneath that headline go on to say, Mohammed, Obi fanning insurrection. And under there that we can see there, the marketing me not good for Nigeria. Don't misinform international community. LP cautions Mohammed. Reps condemn interim government plot and tasks security agencies on vigilance. And we can see the test for Nigeria's Themis as Trump faces trial. And we can see a picture there, part of the story of the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and Minister of Information Lai Mohammed. Underneath there, we can see Nigeria's capital inflow buckles under rising risks and monetary tightening. NATO's border with Russia doubles as Finland joins. And you'll get all of that on the front page of The Guardian. And onto The Nation, we can see here, federal government, Obidate's actions treasonable. Above the flag, wreck in governorship election bribe mess. And government hails 10% hike in excise duty on non-alcoholic drinks. NERC goes tough on discos over meters. We see a picture story there of President Trump being arraigned and in court yesterday. Quite interesting one there. And of course, by the side there, we can also see Prince Dakpo Abiodun and the President, Muhammadu Buhari. All of that on the front page of The Nation. We'll run up with the Punch, and we can see here underneath the flag, post-election threats. Obidate risk treason charges federal government wants. The annotations underneath go on to say, LP presidential candidate deputy calling for insurrection treasonable. Minister Obi should face the law, says APC. Federal government allegation reckless, say Obi and PDP. And reps condemn calls for interim government, ask DSS to arrest enemies of democracy. And we can see there protests as Trump pleads not guilty to criminal charges. And there is a placard there, nobody is above the law. And underneath the paper there, Ramadan, avoid offensive sermons. Etsu Nupe tells clerics. Whitney, Corona okays Chrisland's independent autopsy. And a Fenifere crisis deepens. Youths ask Adebanjo to step down. All of this on the front page of The Punch. And that's it on headlines this morning. We'll take a short time out now. We'll be back in a bit.
You are welcome. It's a grand morning here. We're having fun already. Mike is just regaling us about his days as an actor. When he used to... What was that malaria drug well, malaria,
So
did you see it?
The drug is not, I don't think, so you know one thing, malaria drugs, they evolve.
Yeah. Okay, so it's no longer...
that particular one, I don't think I've seen it, but it was a very interesting experience, and I really did love the experience.
I can
It's
imagine.
one trailer or one promo I am proud of.
I don't know.
So,
So because
yeah.
I don't eat in the
It's
morning.
Superman Wednesday.
Wow.
Sorry.
Interesting.
Winfrey, have you ever been a convict?
Nice way to put it.
I
But
mean,
really heavy.
There's a lot going around about...
If I was a convict, would I be able to work here?
we don't know
Like
his
convict.
question.
Is it like convicts? You said
What
convict.
makes you a convict?
If you have been convicted.
Convicted, exactly.
Aha, you've been
Convicted.
convicted.
Yeah.
So
Of a crime.
we don't have any convicts here.
Convict.
Even though we
Hopefully,
have semi.
hopefully.
No. Because we
have
have
you-
semi-convict. Huh?
On their way.
What do you say?
But it's not beat somebody.
Okay. The reason why we're asking to talk about this, we're going to talk about some of our experience. Donald Trump got arrested, so he's the first U.S. president to ever be arrested
Yeah.
and to be arraigned as well.
Exactly.
Although that only applies in that state where he was arrested.
Yeah.
And then this morning I came and I asked Mike, did you see Portable? No, you asked me actually.
Yeah.
Portable was also arrested after him being a baboon and in the zoo and everything. But the level of humility that the guy
Portrayed.
played after was such a switch.
His hands
Did you see
were
him in court?
the middle like this.
Like, hey,
you know when
see
your
his
hands are like
face.
this? It's the same.
I thought you're in a zoo. You're no longer a
It's no
zoo.
longer a baboon.
So it's crazy. So I remember that I have spent a night behind bars before, and I asked Mike,
Is it bars?
I was inside. They
Behind
put me
bars.
not counter.
But literal
inside.
bars.
Okay, sometimes it was counter, then later, but it was
You
because
too-
no.
Hey.
No. You,
Hey.
you have to experience it as a man.
Calm down. It was because you see, like Nelson Mandela.
Hey, Mike,
I
leave
wanna tell you something.
Nelson
Calm
away
down.
out of this.
Because some great men have been
Thank you.
wrongly. I'm not a convict. You understand? I'm not a convict. But I just said that due to this was a very, very it was unfortunate. I was
Fighting for the right of the people.
it wasn't like fighting the right of people, but it was me being wrongly accused.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
It was wrong. It was me being wrongly accused, and that was the scenario there. So I had to. I was there. You know, I was there for a short while.
For a
But you
short
see,
while.
when you see the thing about it didn't humble me in the way it humbles other people.
Other people.
I don't know how Martino's experience was, but for me, my experience was how do I put it now? I became number 2 in this.
Wow, interesting. In how many hours?
Let him tell you. Tell her how many days.
It was a few days.
Hey, no, Mike. Number is important. Let's be specific.
But I was number 2 before
Can you imagine? Wow.
In my case, I was
And
very
what were
young.
your functions?
How young were you though?
I was so young. This was when? This was maybe it was over 10 years.
Yeah,
So
you were
maybe
young.
my 20s, late 20s and all of that. Yeah.
I was 26
Okay.
at the time.
Okay,
and
so
we had an
about my late
altercation
20s.
that escalated into physical exchange with our neighbor, myself, a friend, and our neighbor. And we went to bed thinking I was okay. The next thing, bang, 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 bang. That's true.
You didn't know
12
you were
midnight.
fighting.
Took us to the cell and we spent the night
Who
there.
called the police?
The neighbor. So you see the
neighbor.
funny thing with this police
It's
thing
who-
in Nigeria
it's
is who confess.
It's who confess. That's just
You
the
know?
truth.
That was exactly the same thing. Something
Yes.
happened, somebody did it, and then they called somebody and they picked
That's
it,
it.
it was like that. And that's it. And we really need to, as a society, we really need to
Yeah.
do better when it comes to issues like this. Who
Yeah.
They say now who
Yes, no.
now call police first.
First,
Nine
that
get
get kids, that
Nine
get
get
kids.
kids, you know,
Yes.
all this kind of
And I
thing.
remember
So-
then in Unimed actually.
Oh, they
No,
they raided you guys.
BDPA, BDPA, literally. I think I just left there. I actually just got there. I think a compound is usually known to be very rowdy and busy. And we go everywhere is quiet. What happened? Police just passed. So that's what they normally do. So there's certain compounds they target and all of that, and they can just decide to drive it and pack everybody. They don't even care
Massive.
what is happening, why it's happening. They just pack everybody.
have
And
an
then, of course, you have to
acquaintance
call someone to come
and
bail you
I have an
out. So it's
acquaintance
just
who
to...
has actually been locked in Kirikiri just for going out by 10 p.m. to buy suya.
Wow.
I'm telling you. And so it was like maybe, dropped at the police station and then nobody comes to pick you up, nobody comes and blah, 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 blah.
They
And
move him.
I was in Kirikiri.
Yes.
And what did he do?
Yes.
Was on boxers and singlets. I'm going to buy suya to Sokogari.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
A lot of-
And he has a tail
A lot
in
of
Kirikiri.
situations. So when I was during my NYSC, we actually did a lot of number of pro bono cases where we actually go to the prison cells and actually talk to these prisoners. And it will surprise you, a lot of people behind bars, they don't have a case.
No case.
Do you understand? They just don't have people to come and bail them out. And then most times, these things we're actually watching movies where they actually swap people
Oh no.
for crimes actually happens.
Oh wow.
Sadly.
does happen.
So
Wow.
it's
It does happen
really
a lot.
frightening.
Yeah,
It's
but
really frightening.
for the two that we're talking about today, they did what they said they did.
Trump.
Donald Trump. The thing is that, the thing
Yeah.
about him, he's a very radical person. But yeah, we are finding out that a lot of his empire was built on lies.
True.
From the beginning, and like Mazino said, he's the, what now? Poster boy for
Is it poster boy? What was that?
for fake it.
The fake it till you make it. Yeah,
Exactly, you
Fake
said
it till
so.
you make it.
And there's always been that from his star, which has been his base
Yeah.
of operations. He has always, exaggerated the size, and which has, there's always
That's
that
his
thing.
mechanism, literally. That's how.
And as for the baboon, the baboon calmed down, became
Whoever you are,
became a monkey.
listen. I like the fact that it was publicized, his
Yeah.
arrest and everything. It was a very good thing. I like the fact that you can't be. You don't think that you're somebody and you can get away with it, whether you're Rufai or whether you are Zazu.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. If you're wrong, face the law.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that this was, apart from all his antiques,
Antiques
this
and
was also in
shenanigans.
front of the media.
Yes.
Yeah, you will face the law if you do anything wrong, and I like that. Yeah. Well,
All right.
that's it for us here Tell us what you think if you're in the zoo, Babu. Let's know. It was a fun story in any case, and we like the way it ended. We'll catch you guys after. Very interesting package there. I think I lost the calling because I'm sure it would have been great. Anyhow, welcome to Simon Nutrition today. We are discussing the gut-brain connection. Just a minute, I'll make you understand how nutrition affects your mood and mental health. Now, our wellness expert here today with us, she's a nutrition expert, Uju Onora. She's passionate about guiding people to make sustainable, healthy food choices with the available foods around us. You are welcome here, Uju.
Thank you very
Good
much.
to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Gut-brain connection.
Yes.
We're talking about how our mental state or mental health and what we put in our bodies by way of what we eat. Am I correct?
Yes.
What's the relationship?
Okay, so I think in answer to your question, it's best to think of your brain like a car. You know, a car, it's running. But the only difference is that, of course, a typical car has to stop, you know, at some point. But your brain is literally, you know, working 24/7, even when you're asleep.
Yeah.
Now, so if you're thinking of your brain like a car, it then means that it needs a fuel, right? It needs a fuel to function. And that fuel, it's food. Yes. Now, in thinking about it now, there are more like higher grades of fuel or lower grades of fuel and all of that.
Lead, unleaded.
Okay,
or with
something
petrol,
like that. Yeah. So how are you fueling your body, or the kind of fuel you put it in helps your brain, you know, healthy. And if your brain is healthy, it also helps you reduce something we call, in my profession, oxidative stress and inflammation.
Okay.
Now, just not to sound too much, you know, with so much
Too late.
jargon and all of that, but what it actually does is, with all of, when you don't have oxidative stress and inflammation, you feel better. Your mood is, you're happier.
Happier.
Yes, it's kind of an evolving field in nutrition, but then there has been so many studies linking, you know, nutrition, food, what you are able to eat, and how it
mental state.
impacts your mental health.
So we have to put good stuff inside our body. Junk food and the rest might not be the best, yes?
Nah, not really.
However, what if I say that when I take chocolate, even if it's regarded as junk, I feel really happy. I love the feeling. It's like a small semi-drug. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because it does lift my mood.
Okay, so the thing is that you're very right, but this is it here. It's not, I'm not going to use the word it's a bad thing, but consistently eating chocolate to feel better is when it becomes a bad thing. I'm not going to say that eating chocolate is bad, but consistently doing it. So now, what do you feel when you eat chocolate, or for some people, even ice cream and all of that, and they feel good? It's what we call a rush that comes from eating an ultra-processed food because it's high in sugar, because it's high in fat. So there's a rush, and that rush makes you feel better. But if you're consistently doing this, it's actually going to get to a point, it's doing the reverse of what you are eating it for. But if it's just for, maybe a regular day, just some, I'm craving this, I'm not feeling so good, I crave, it's just going to give you a rush and you feel good.
Okay.
But I'm not going to advise that it's something that, as an individual, you're consistently, or it's a habit to do it.
Yeah, so then there is, my habit is, this is definitely a habit. Every single morning, I have coffee at a very specific time in the morning.
Okay.
Which is just before our daily post-production meeting, because sometimes I can't stand. But I take plenty of coffee every single day. Is that a bad thing?
So what do you call plenty? Is it like a cup?
Consistently a cup every day, yes.
It's not bad, actually. If
Oh,
it's just coffee, not too much sugar. Coffee is actually good.
Plenty of sugar.
No, that is where it's bad. You could cut down on the sugar a bit, right? Also use, do you love to use milk?
Yeah, lots of it.
Full cream?
Full cream.
Okay, full cream, it's not bad. That is in itself, since you look to be in good shape.
Sorry, can you say that again for our director to hear? Mr. Shegun?
You seem to be in good shape. But coffee in itself is not bad. But then, of course, like I said, it's just one cup you're taking a day. So that's really safe.
So what can we
Right.
put inside our bodies that is beneficial for our mental health?
Okay, So, general answer, I'm just going to say a healthy diet. But then it's like, what's a healthy diet,
what is it?
right? So, the whole aim of what you're going to eat, what we have to eat as an individual to fuel our body rightly, is having a combination of foods that are healthy in vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. Particularly antioxidants like that, a chemical. I mentioned inflammation earlier and oxidative stress and all of that. So, antioxidants actually help the brain, even the body generally prevent this.
Okay.
Now, it's all about eating more of whole foods. What I tell clients and people generally is eat foods more like straight from the farm.
Oh, okay.
I'm using the word straight up from the farm because it's more like food that has not gone through so much processing, right? Rice from the farm. Rice is from the farm.
Okay.
Yam is from the farm.
Well, thank
Your
goodness.
plantain is from the farm.
Because for a minute
right?
there, I thought you were asking us to go vegetarian.
No!
I'll tell you something about being vegetarian. 6 years ago, I tried going vegetarian. My body actually broke down. I went vegetarian for
sorry.
2 weeks. But my body was like, Oga, come, stop. This thing that you're doing, we can't continue like this. We want meat.
No, please.
So-
Being a vegetarian is not in itself bad, but then of course there are a lot of backsides to being a vegetarian, and it has to be done guided properly by a nutritionist. So that's like the whole stuff on its own. But in itself, it's more like a combination of healthy diets. You need your protein. Your body needs protein. Right, you need your fruits and vegetables particularly, I know, but I don't want to throw so much emphasis on this, but fruits and vegetables are so important because that is the only class of food that you can get vitamins and minerals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, your carbohydrate sources like your rice, your potato, your yam, and all of those things, your meat, all of those things, they don't give you can't compare the level of vitamins and minerals that are contained in it. That when you're talking about rich sources of vitamins and minerals, it's majorly in fruits and vegetables, and that's very important for your brain, for your body generally.
So if I was going to start with this project, this eating healthy for my mental state, how do I get started? What do I need to do first off starting today?
Okay, so the first thing you need to do is intentionally eating right every single day. Aside from your normal rice, your beans, and all of those food that we normally eat.
Do I need a timetable or stuff? Do I need to consciously alert myself that this and that?
Food timing in itself is like a very big deal, right? But I think food timing it's more like for people who probably have medical conditions, right? But for an average healthy person, you mustn't necessarily time your food in itself. More like, but it's more or less what you are eating, not like when you are eating it per se, but what you are eating.
Uju, you and I have to have plenty of talk because I want to get this thing down to a T. I really need to get my nutrition up because I want my mental state to be like bliss. But thank you very much, Uju, for coming through. Always a pleasure to have you here, nerdy girl. But
thank you.
Next week we pick another topic, and of course you'll be here to enlighten us, wouldn't you?
I'll be glad to be.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for staying tuned. Do keep on to this channel because we've got more coming your way inside of Wake Up Nigeria.
Welcome back. Now, the second hour of Wake Up for Wednesday literally comes with the X Factor. That extraness that we all need to make every episode extra special.
So we're going Wakanda on this one, but it's okay. All right. Yes, we'll try and put that X Factor for you guys. Isn't it a culture here that our second hour is always the extra one? I mean, it goes without saying, man. It's always better. And I guess that's why we remain your favorite. And when it comes to Breakfast Television, thank you very much. We appreciate the fact that you guys are there just to see us here. Thank you.
Irrespective of this happening here, we stay humble, right? And continue to put in the work and delivering the best.
You know, the thing about being humble when you're putting out good work, you don't need, if you don't blow your trumpet, no one do it for you, so you do it yourself.
Blow your trumpets, okay, blow it.
In any case, you know my name already, it's Mazino Appeal.
No, we don't.
Yes, you
Mine
do.
is Winfrey Agbelishe, and of course, you can watch the show live on GOTV channel 27 on UHF band 49 on terrestrial. And of course, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. We're at TVC Connect.
Yes, indeed. Now, if you missed any of the episodes from this week or even last week or time immemorial, all you need to do is go on YouTube where you can find all our episodes uploaded there immediately after the show. TVC Entertainment is how to search. Also, you can still put your comments under there. We love to read them, especially if you tag them with the hashtag WakeUpNiger on TVC.
Yes, of course. And now for what we have left.
Yeah.
On the show today, we have relationship.
Yay.
Right? We'll be discussing handling generational differences with Nnenna Ben Ikechukwu, a certified family life practitioner and integrated life coach with specialization in mental wellness education.
For a musical performance from Aremosele Solomon Idemuda, professionally known as Dian, should have started with that. He will be here to perform his new single, The Uber Boy.
And of course, make sure you do join us for a very interesting conversation on the couch. We have Miss International Nigeria 2022 and 2023. We will be getting to know more about her beauty queen journey. So make sure you do stay tuned for that.
Very
You see something, yeah?
What?
Whenever you can, please laugh.
Yeah.
I saw a video of Mazino yesterday, and he was alone and he was dancing, and I liked the video because it's
Where was the video, please?
It was a whole...
it's on his
Okay, so
feed.
this is the thing.
On
First,
his feed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Instagram. I've never seen myself dancing.
Okay.
It's always very embarrassing when I do get the opportunity to dance. And often I can't just dance clear eye. It must be a party and I must be already on something. Yeah. So it was funny. It's a longer video. I'm so cloggy. I'm so clunky and everything.
Yeah. What I wanted to mention was having, as social media for me is like a mirror. It's not good or bad. It's not a vice or virtue, And one other thing I love is when people send memes, or when I send memes and then also comments.
Yeah.
When you go through some, post and you read some comments and oh my, I intentionally laugh and laugh out loud because
Yeah.
it does help. So there's this video I saw here, this beautiful young lady who fell down the stairs. She fell on her back and sat down, and the comments are taking me out. Like one person goes like, she first sit down and reason if this life is worth it. Another person goes, and original airport she well.
What has that got to do with it?
Original what?
Airports. Yeah.
How does that good?
Okay.
How does that go to
So recently, I found that out, and I found out that you actually get more followers by the interesting comments. Don't bully a person.
Yeah.
But if you put interesting comments on anything,
Yeah,
you
people
actually get
actually
people who
go,
come
yeah.
into your feed and check
And
you
check
out,
you out.
and also follow you as well. So I've also started putting some of these very interesting comments.
See?
On a normal day, I'd say it. So why don't I just write it on Instagram? So that's what I do as well. You're still reading comments. But in any case, social media is a go-to place, especially if you're lonely. Like yesterday, I was alone at home, first time in a very long time. And after working so hard, I just had to put something up on there because I wanted to feel happy.
I'll definitely go and check it out.
You should.
Exactly.
Before it gets,
That's
it's
the
a
thing.
story.
That's the hack that everybody's trying to hack. Happiness, that thing, that happiness,
Yeah.
it's an inside job.
Definitely
It's
is an
an
inside
inside
job.
job.
And I deliberately, especially when I notice my mood is kind of down, I
Yeah.
tell people, horror, all this is
Nah.
comedy. 30 minutes
comedy
comedy.
of comedy, yeah.
Literally, I have, last night I was watching 2.5 Men, and I literally laughed myself to sleep.
To sleep.
That's literally
Oh,
how I went to
wonderful.
sleep.
Great way.
So remember last year, sorry, I was clearing my feed out because I didn't want all these sad visuals coming on my feed for Instagram. So I've succeeded in actually streamlining my feed, so it's
yeah.
always very happy or fun. Nothing that is,
Exactly.
untowardly type of,
Exactly.
downcast type of thing.
Exactly.
I prefer it so, and it's a deliberate effort. If you don't put in the algorithm right, you'll actually continue getting all these things that
Getting
upset
lost.
you.
True.
But
True.
try that, it'll make you happier. There's too much angst going on already.
I am
Let's
telling you.
be happy. Welcome again. It's time for the news. My name is Mazino Appeal. Now, we begin from Kaduna State, where about 10 students have been reportedly kidnapped by yet to be identified persons in Kacha local government area of the state. The victims are said to be students of the Government Day Secondary School, Awon. The Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, said the incident happened on Monday. He says the exact location of the incident is yet to be ascertained, as detailed reports are still being awaited from security agencies. We're going to show you now a timeline of the series of schools attacked by bandits. On March 12, 2021, gunmen invaded the Federal College of Forestry overnight, kidnapping about 30 students. April 21, 2021, gunmen attacked Greenfield University. 5 students were killed, 22 others were abducted. Another attack happened on July 5, 2021 at Bethel Baptist School. 20 students were abducted. August 3, 2022, Federal School of Statistics, Machok, Kaura local government was attacked by gunmen. 1 killed, another abducted. TVC News spoke with the Kaduna State Chairman of Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Joseph Hayab.
Simple truth is that the bandit knows that our government can back, but they cannot bite. The bandit knows that our government will only play to the gallery, but they will not go after them. The bandit knows that, look, after all the noise, everybody will just focus on what he wants to do. Security is not an exclusive business of those in uniform or those who are in the security forces. Security is about everybody. Security is when everybody is involved. These criminals live among people. These criminals walk among people. But you see, what is the kind of relationship between the people and government, between the people and security agencies, that the people can openly and confidently explain to them what they know? Sometimes when people are not so sure of their safety, not so sure of the approach of government, they would even want to say anything. There's this common slogan in New York that when you see something, say something. You can't ask people in Kaduna to see something and say something, because if you say something...
Now, the federal government has cautioned the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, against inciting people to violence over the outcome of the presidential election. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, gave the admonition in Washington, D.C. during his official engagement with some international media organizations on the just concluded 2023 polls. The minister has so far engaged the Washington Post, Voice of America, Associated Press, and Foreign Policy magazine. During interactions with the media organizations, Mr. Mohammed said it was wrong for Peter Obi to, on one breath, seek redress in court over the outcome of the polls, and on another breath, incite people to violence. Outside Nigeria now, Donald Trump pleads not guilty to 34 felony criminal charges during a court hearing in New York. The former U.S. president was accused of falsifying records to conceal crimes in almost the hour-long hearing. Judge Juan Machan does not issue a gag order, but asks both sides to be mindful of their language and rhetoric. Trump, running for the presidency for 2024, is released and is set to travel to Florida. Speaking to reporters outside the court, attorney Todd Blanche said the judge requested everyone involved in the case to not use language that would incite violence. Not just Trump, Joe Tacopina, another one of Trump's lawyers, said the unsealing of the indictment showed that the rule of law died in that country. So that's it for the news. Do stay tuned. We've got a couple of minutes to go here on the show. We'll be right back.
Okay, so now we have relationship, and we do this on Wednesdays, of course. And today we're talking about handling generational differences. And having this amazing conversation with us today is Nene Ben Ikechukwu. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you so much. And you look very pretty yourself.
Thank you. You have a really broad, nice, attractive smile.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so now tell me about yourself. Before you got into what you do, which is, helping families, right? Communicate, teenagers, parenting, relationships, basically. So now tell me about that qualification.
So, over time, one thing that I have discovered is we can be very emotional and butt heads, especially when you feel like I don't understand you and you don't understand me.
True.
And growing up, I'm very grateful for the family I grew up in.
Yeah.
There was some level of independence and outspoken or open-mindedness, kind of. So when I hear people say, how can you talk to your mom or your dad like that? It's a little bit strange. So I started, it made me curious, kind of. It made me curious to really know what is it about the family and why are we usually this way?
Why are we usually this way? Okay, now talking about generational differences, right? So we're talking not just about parents and children, but also talking about spouses. For instance, the age gap between husband and wife are different. So how would you say we approach situations like that when the age gap? Because we're in Nigeria.
Yeah.
We like respect. Do you understand? So yes, how best to approach a situation like that?
Yes. So when it comes to generation, right, we have what we call
First and foremost, let me start with the very recent ones that we see around, which happen to be like our grandparents now.
Yes.
And those are what you call the baby boomers.
Yes.
So from the ages of, they were born from the ages of, from 1945, okay? 1945 to 1964. Of course, if you do the maths, they're the ones we call grandma and grandpa now, right?
Yes.
And after that, we have the Generation X. So those ones were born from 1965 to 1979.
All right.
And if you notice, there is a gap.
Yes.
So for this current generation of X, they have experienced, of course, they have experienced in Nigeria here, the Civil War, the birth of NYSC, for instance.
Yes.
They are a little bit, they also take education very seriously.
True.
So when you see the little of Generation X now, they are like managers, they are very educated for those that had the privilege of going to school. They are kind of prim and proper.
Very
so if
prim
they're
and
going out, you hardly find them wearing like flip-flops,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you now move over to what you call Generation Y or the millennials.
Yes.
So these ones are kind of open-minded, and they are the ones that a lot of Gen Xers feel like they are disrespectful. But they haven't met the Gen Zs.
They definitely
They haven't met the Gen Zs who are more liberal.
Yes.
I mean, they grew up literally coming out with, you know, a phone. They have all of these apps.
Yes.
You see a lot of them on social media, basically
Yes.
living their lives on social media. I mean, I sometimes I talk to my daughter and she's telling me TYTL. And I'm like, I'm here. Like, I'm just in the kitchen. Why are you saying that?
Yeah.
So you notice that if you're not conscious of your own internal understanding of generations, you would butt heads.
Very true.
As a parent, some parents that are millennials had, some people that are millennials, to beg your pardon, had parents who are Gen Xers. So you find out that they grew up in homes where you have to arrange.
Yes.
You have to make
Strict
sure,
upbringing.
very strict upbringing, yes. You can't, hey mom, hey dad.
No.
If you're from some cultures, you have to kneel down to
Yes,
greet. So
very
when your child comes in and just, mom, you say, what's going on?
Yeah.
So you have to be conscious of all of these things
Yes.
as parents and of course as adults as well.
Okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, the first thing is to understand
Understanding.
that there is a difference, right? I'm not
Absolutely.
expecting everyone to to adapt to your way of life. Now, of course, I would like to say it was definitely difficult for our parents to get that with different generations. Even till now, they still
Yeah,
struggle.
yeah.
And of course, we can even see a lot of that happening even with, I mean, election season just passed and all of that. So now, how do we relate, right? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, the Gen Zs are just doing their thing, right? Most times they're carefree. I know a lot of people say they're very forward and they're fearless. I think that's the word they use. So how do we relate successfully, especially in the home family setting where we have the young ones who are going into teenagehood, and you know how teenagehood can actually be tough for parents and even for teenagers. So how do we balance that out?
Very good question. You know, if you don't appreciate something, you would likely not understand where that thing came from.
True.
So if we do not look back at our history, we won't really appreciate why we are here now.
True.
So for teenagers, for adults, for grandparents, there has to be some form of generational intelligence.
Okay.
So as a parent, maybe I may not be very vast with social media. So what do I do rather than keep having this wall of defense and saying you are always on this? How about I try to understand it?
True.
So I mean, if for those that are familiar with some of these games, you never know what are in these games. Sometimes they seem harmless. And if you do not bring yourself to the place where you understand it, you would likely just keep, you know, getting frustrated. Open an account if you're a parent, try and play those games, make out time. So that's one thing that also characterizes the millennials. Millennials see work-life balance and family time differently. So most Generation X have this mindset that when we eat dinner together, that's family time.
That is true.
But for millennials and Generation Y, it's more of let's plan to go to the cinema. Let us just go Yeah, hangouts. So use those opportunities to understand how they think. Personally, I struggled with acronyms. I mean, type well, for goodness sake.
You said type well.
But I had to, I had to understand that this is where they are coming from. Everything is fast-paced. So if you are used to prim and proper, very good. I mean, looking at your beautiful set, if we were to be like some years back, I would see newspapers here. True. But you read the news and I can't even, well, we read the news, right? You read the news. True. So we have to understand that things are now being done differently. That way, there will be less conflict, whether in family, whether in the workspace. Yeah, understand each generation and be empathetic towards how they relate with you.
Okay, amazing. So in the end, understanding.
Understanding, yes.
So now let me just digress a little. Okay. Not really a digression, but now let's talk about relationship between spouses now. Of different generation groups. For instance, let's say we have like a 10-year gap, right? So I understand understanding is also helpful, but then again, you know, some people can be stuck in their ways. They want things is set in a particular way. And because this is not a parent-child relationship, the dynamics are kind of different. So in that kind of situation, how do we manage that properly? Yeah, so that we avoid problems.
That's a very good question. So one thing that makes us human is our differences. Of course, siblings fight. Couples will always have their differences. Yeah. I mean, work relationship will always have its difference as well. But one thing that, you know, unconsciously we do is to first develop resistance to something we don't understand. So a couple, for instance, like you said, that have a 10-year difference, at the back of your head, you just want respect.
You just want respect.
Yes. And unconsciously, you feel like one person has to be like a father-daughter relationship. But if you go in with that, like I said, it still boils down to understanding. If you take time to study, read, go beyond your biases, go beyond your stereotypes, go beyond that's how I was born, or that's how my parents did it. True. No, things are changing, and you don't want to be stuck in the past. Yeah, I like what some people some countries are trying to implement in the workplace, and of course to also practice what you call reverse mentoring. I think it's something that we should imbibe. Even if I'm older than you, I should be willing, open enough. Open-mindedness is something that we should implore. Be open to learn. Ask questions, very important, which is something that this generation Z are going to struggle with, because they will rather, you know, internalize it and maybe just learn from TikTok or all of these social media apps. So we need to all, you know, find a common ground, which is where we communicate.
All right. Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank
definitely
you.
Speaking with you is definitely amazing. Hopefully you're here next week again. And we're definitely looking forward to that one. Okay, you definitely heard her. Make sure you learn, be open to learning, and as you go, understand yourself. It's going to help a whole lot. We still have one very interesting conversation coming up with Beauty Queen, so make sure you stick around for that one. Going to a quick break right now. We'll be back.
And you are welcome. Good one. So,
Beauty Queen in the house.
Yes, indeed. You can tell that we're excited because our male testosterone has just been, because we have something very spicy for you. Now, let's have this chat. Queen Bolarinde Roselyn, the 15th Beauty of Africa International and Miss International Nigeria 2022-23. She's a professional model, humanitarian, fitness enthusiast, all-rounder. She's right here with us and we can't believe it. And you brought the crown. Yay!
Yes, thank you for having me.
Your crown, the crown that was
Yes.
That's beautiful. Good to have you.
Thank you so much.
So this is the Beauty of Africa International pageant.
Yes.
And you are Miss am I getting that right? Miss International.
Nigeria.
International Nigeria.
Yes.
That's grand.
Yeah, how does that work? Because, they have different queens on one pageant. How does it work?
Okay, so my organization have different franchises to international pageants. The first position goes for Miss International, then the second Miss Globe, and so on. So yes, I won the 15th Beauty of Africa International, and I'm also representing Nigeria and Miss International this year.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. So Miss International is going to be today. This year, yes.
This year in Japan, yes.
In Japan?
Yes.
That means you're going to be with a whole lot of other beauty queens from across the world.
Yes, and also.
How does that, are you, in any way, does that put you under any pressure at all?
Right now, I would say no. because I've had the experience before. I represented my country in Miss Tourism International last year, and I had a wonderful experience, being able to connect with women from all over the world, share our values, stories, and, you know, understand our cultures is an amazing experience. So I'm really looking forward to this year.
All right, so let's talk about your journey. You're a model. You're also a fitness enthusiast and all of that. How did this all start for you? How did you get into the world of pageantry?
Okay, so as a kid, my mom made us watch Pageant, and you know, and wanted us to be a model. When my dad really
old are you,
keen, 5'10".
Okay, go
Keen
ahead.
on education. So while watching beauty pageants on TV, I asked my mom that, okay, these people are crowned, these women, beautiful women are crowned. What happened after? What did they do? And my mom said, oh, they do charity works and, you know, help organizations and stuff. And that really piqued my interest. So while growing up, I developed the interest of volunteering for causes in my, for NGOs in my society, and that really encouraged me to go for beauty pageants. And I won last year, and I've been able to carry out a few projects.
Now, you said something I want to pick on there. You said your mom told you that they engage in charity.
Yes.
Since you became a beauty queen yourself, what charity have you endeavored in?
Okay, so few, by the way. This
Oh,
year,
you just started, so even if it's you, you're on a good start.
like I said, I've been volunteering for
Right.
non-profit organizations before I was crowned a beauty queen. This year, I did a little outreach on Valentine's Day for elderly people because they are one of the people that are neglected in the society.
Yeah.
So I
we can
said,
see
okay,
pictures
let me
of
do
that there.
something.
That's what we're looking at on TV.
Yes.
Why did you choose the elderly? Everybody would have gone for motherless kids, children, babies. You went for the elder folk.
Yes, I have a grandma. I really love her a lot, and she's a strong woman. When I lost my dad, she was really there for me and my family and my siblings, and she's a little bit sick right now. And my mom told me about it, and that was on Valentine's Day. I said, oh, how can I, really want to do something. Then I thought of, okay, let me Google. Is there really elderly care homes in Nigeria? Then I was surprised. I saw a lot of elderly care homes, and I saw one that was close to my area. And I went there, I met with the manager, and she was really surprised that a young person like me is really thinking about the elderly people. So, and I also got the assistance of my fellow queens I met in Miss Tourism International. I told them about what I want to do. I want to do something for the elderly on Valentine's Day. And they sent videos, congrats, wishing them well and sending them love and stuff. So I went there on that day. I raised a little bit of money. I got them food stuff. I spent time with them. I also learned a lot because they told me stories about their life, and it was really an emotional day, and I was really proud that I did that.
Great one, I must say. Now, you are an alumnus of, you work with Winfrey. She had something to do with you when it comes to getting you set for all of this, yeah? Tell us a bit about your journey with
Winfrey.
Okay.
We don't know.
Okay, I would say my journey as a beauty queen is not an easy one because I've tried multiple times. I did not win. And so, yes, the most memorable relationship I had with Winfrey is when I attended an initiative, I think Queens...
Winfrey, what's it called again, Winfrey? What's your thing called again?
I forgot.
Say again?
Yeah.
The Pageant Academy. That's what it's called.
I attended the first Pageant Academy, and I really learned a lot, and that's really also motivated me to keep trying, and I'm right here today.
Wow, that is beautiful. And this is taking you across Africa. You were in Ghana only recently. What did you there?
So I was invited by my fellow queen, my wonderful host, Queen Priska Abba. So we collaborated on a project called Girl Child Power Project, which was launched in Sokode Senior High School in Volta region. So it's about girl child empowerment, and we really targeted the adolescent stage because they are distracted a lot. So, and I believe that education is very important, and if we want to see our girls empowered, we must earnestly work towards giving them a good education so they can have a bright future and see that bright future ahead of them. So really spend time with them. And personally, I also educated them on the importance of being physically and mentally fit as a student. Yes, in order to live a well-balanced life. And we had the most fulfilling day, and we spent time with them together with Face of Water region. We spent time with them. We gave them a surprise. We awarded the best students for female. And yes, that was it.
How important is fitness to your lifestyle? How do you incorporate it into what you do? How often do you do things that make you fit?
Okay, as a fitness enthusiast who sees more to fitness than physical outlook, I believe the first step of empowering anyone at all is helping them stay fit, balanced, and fulfilling with their life in order to carry the weight of the journey to self-actualization. And that was why my initiative, that I'm working on it right now, is centered on this campaign called Fit for Life, in order to empower people and build a community of young people that will live a balanced and fulfilling lives while serving the needs of others. So I'm looking to do that on my birthday, on the 28th of this
So
month.
you get people to come and work together. What's the Fit for Life?
Yeah.
What's it about? What does it do?
Okay, like I said, we need, before we can really focus on our goals, we need to be physically and mentally balanced.
Okay, so you use it to encourage people?
Yes,
or you
through
bring
fitness,
them out
because
together and workouts together?
yes, while growing up,
Okay.
I faced a lot of challenges. So low self-esteem, fear and worry, mainly because my dad is mostly sick and I'm scared he's going to leave. But as a straight A student, I've been smart enough to look for ways to distract myself in order to, not to let my studies be affected. So I engage in physical activities, sports, dancing, singing, and it really helped me. I was able to also encourage my classmates to join me as well. And that is why I'm focusing on young people, because they don't really focus on fitness, and fitness helps a lot, not just physically, mentally and emotionally as well. So that is what I set out to do.
You've got an answer for everything.
He does.
Yeah, she's got an answer for almost every single thing. But now you're going international.
Yeah,
you're going to be with other beauty queens from across the world.
Yes.
I can't remember which exact one, but there was this instance where it was, it had to do with race. The beauty queens from Africa, but the reception wasn't quite, wasn't commendable. Now, do you have these fears? And I'm hoping we can get Winfrey on this one as well before you, when you're done answering this question. Do you have any pressures on you regarding that, noting that you're going to be meeting international audiences, international pageants, international beauty queens, and if these factors, these little, trivia comes up, what would you do then? How would you attend to it? Or
okay, so I'm gonna say two things. First, when I was going for Miss Tourism International, I had these fears, but pageants are really different. Miss Tourism International solely based on friendship, bringing the world together, bringing people together, celebrating culture and understanding our differences. And when I got there, I received the best treatment. I didn't go experience that, but it's there. It happens. And also, we need to cultivate the attitude of celebrating ourselves in Africa, and celebrate pageant also in Africa, because it's being celebrated hugely over there. So, and that is what Beauty of Africa stands for. We have the Nigeria edition and we have the African edition. The African edition will be hosted in Ghana this year, and different women from across Africa will be competing, and that is also celebrating pageantry in Africa. That's a really great initiative.
Okay, Winfrey, where are you? Winfrey, you are situated. This issue about pageants from Africa meeting other pageants from across the world, should it ever happen that there is an instance of, say, maybe what you call discrimination? Being a lecturer in the pageant industry, Winfrey, how would you advise that beauty queens attend to such instances?
To be very honest, should it? you call the lecturer in me, okay? So first of all, to be very honest, these things do happen, whether we like it or not, right? Our girls have literally left Nigeria, gone for international pageants, and have honestly not been treated fairly. I wouldn't say every time, but I know I've listened to different stories of things that happen like that. The truth is, in times like this, as a contestant, there's very little that you can do. All you can continue to do as a contestant right there in the situation is keep on being your authentic self, be sure that those feelings are coming from a place of insecurity, and just be confident in who you are. And to be honest, I think that's one major thing pageantry is about, being confident in who you are, where you're from, understanding your roots and what you stand for. In the end, love is honestly what's going to surmount all of this. So love reigns, no matter what.
Beauty Academy, Pageants Academy.
We should just end on that note. Thank you so much, Queen you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you very much.
Before
I'm
I
wishing you the
go,
best, yeah?
I really want to appreciate the people that made my trip to Ghana unsuccessful. The main sponsor, Dew Palace Ghana Limited and King Gali
Okay, well, that's
Hotel.
grand.
And
Good.
my wonderful host, Queen Priska Haba. I really thank them a lot
fantastic.
because I had the most wonderful time.
Well done.
And thank you guys for having me.
Next
All
time,
right.
take us with you, please.
It's been a wonderful show.
Yes, indeed.
Jenny, we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday.
Tomorrow is Art
Thursday. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye now. Winfrey, say goodbye too.
Bye.